Hello everybody, my dear friends, my English-speaking followers, astrology lovers. Here is Olga Vasilchuk from very sunny Costa Rica. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to my channel. I would like to present you today a small video with the analysis, with the overview of astrological tendencies of the month of October. I will talk about the transit planetary aspects for the month of October. I will mention the background energies, and I will talk in details about the two moon phases, the full moon and the new moon. You will find the list of all the major transit aspects in the description of the video. The first thing to say about the month of October is that the most important subject of the month of October is the following. The new moon of September 28 opened the corridor of the midpoint of eclipses. So during 2 weeks after that date until the full moon in Aries on October 13, the subjects of the eclipses of summer 2019, I remind you the dates of the eclipses, the solar eclipse in Cancer on July 2nd, and the lunar eclipse in Capricorn on July 16, they will overlap, they will meet, they will overlap in the form of conflicting and critical situations with the subjects of the upcoming eclipses, those of winter 2019-2020. We will have the solar eclipse in Capricorn on December 26 and the lunar eclipse in Cancer on January 11. 2020, of course, the next year. So the time of the corridor of the midpoint of the eclipses will be the moment of the culmination of the scenarios of life according to the houses of your chart, which received the projection of the eclipses. The scenarios which were born on the subtle level during the days of the eclipses in summer 2019. So what about the background aspects and the background energies of the month? This month, the transformative energies of Pluto and of the sign of Scorpio are strongly felt, will be strongly felt. Pluto, throughout the month, will be suspended at the 20th degree of Capricorn, turning to the direct movement on October 3rd, after Saturn became direct on September 18. The beginning of the direct phase of Pluto will take place at the same time as it will form the square with Venus. Today, on October 1st, the day when I record the video, which will give new energies and new opportunities for transformation of relationships and financial approaches. What will bring us the direct phase of Pluto? It opens up opportunities for radical and profound changes, and you have to look at check the house of your chart in which the retrograde phase of Pluto ends. The process in plural that took place in secret, not on the surface, during the last 5 months since April, since the beginning of the retrograde phase of Pluto, will now gain strength, and they will manifest themselves in the outside. I remind you that Neptune is retrograde until November 22nd, so the entire month of October. Uranus is retrograde. It will be retrograde until January 11, 2020. Mercury gets retrograde in the end of October, so it means that we have Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and Venus direct. The background aspect of the month of September was the square Jupiter-Neptune. I talked about it in the video about September, in the previous video on my channel. It was exact on September 21st. The planets first came into contact in June 2019, and September's aspect was the last exact contact between them, between Jupiter and Neptune. The danger of this period is in high expectations, in excessive idealism, in the temptation to pursue a dream or the dream. Even though the exact aspect is behind, the background, the energies of the background aspect, the square of the social and the superior planet, Jupiter and Neptune, will still be formed until October 20. We have stellium in Libra until October 7th, and between October 23rd and the 1st of November, we will have stellium in Scorpio. Relationships and finances in all their forms, from personal to international, I mean relationships and finances, personal and international, will be one of the main themes of the month. We have stellium in Libra until October 7th, which means that our partnerships will have to be rethought and reconsidered and restructured. But starting from October 3rd, the personal planets will gradually enter Scorpio, and they will form aspects until the end of the month with Uranus, which is in Taurus, and with the Pluto, which is in Capricorn. Mercury will enter Scorpio on October 3rd and Venus on October 8th. Therefore, the month of October will reveal contradictions. It will highlight problems, especially in our relationships and in our way to manage the finances. And the solution of these problems will require a new vision of things and an unusual approach to these problems. The most difficult aspects of the month are formed during the full moon in Aries on October 13 and during the new moon in Scorpio on October 28. On October 4, Mars, one of the rulers of these two lunar phases, because Mars is the second ruler of Scorpio and the ruler of Aries. These are the signs where we'll have the full moon and the new moon of the month. We'll make the ingression in Libra, determining our strategies of action. We will strive to maintain the balance of interest, and to reach agreements, compromises. But probably due to the weak position of Mars, it's falling in Libra, the achievement of our goals will require more strength and more resources than during other periods. October 14-22 is the most constructive time of the month when we can trust our intuition while remaining practical, realistic, and insightful. This is a good time to take concrete actions, to define long-term business projects and plans, to negotiate and to reach agreements. October 18-24. This is the period which is good for working on relationships, and it's a good time for improving them, for finding a compromise. This time can bring romantic and business encounters, and we can have success in relationship with mature or older people, especially mature people. It's a good time to solve the financial and legal problems related to major purchases. And from October 23rd until the 1st of November, the stellium in Scorpio is formed. From the moment when the sun passes into this sign, where we will have already, by the time, Mars and Venus. Happy birthday, dear Scorpios. The circumstances of crisis, intense sensations, the emergence of potentially dangerous situations, this is what is stimulated by the energetical champ of Scorpios. We could deal with the secret affairs, with situations at the extreme boundaries of existence when confronted with death or on the most extreme frontiers of existence. The general atmosphere will give rise to emotional tension and mistrust, which will lead to a more detailed and deep analysis of our lives, to the search for answers beyond the obvious, to the revelation of the truth hidden behind the facade. The end of the month, October 25-28, this is the moment of completion when you can finalize projects or finish a relationship, any relationship, professional or personal, by turning the page. But before doing that, it's worth taking a break and waiting your decision. Because after this breakup, you won't be really able to come back and to restore the relationship. In the very end of the month, October 31st, Mercury becomes retrograde while being in a conjunction with Venus. So this is the last retrograde phase of Mercury in 2019. Now it is useful to go back to the postponed issues and projects, to the old relationships and ties, and not to rely too much on new proposals and new encounters. It's important to look back, as the evaluation of the perspectives will be done in the conditions of limited visibility. Mercury will be retrograde until November 20. So the full moon. October 13, 5:07 p.m. Eastern Time, New York, Montreal, Eastern. The full moon in the 20-degree ARIES, 2013. It's a complex full moon. It will be a part of the T-square with the Pluto, because the Sun in Libra in opposition to the Moon in Aries will be in square. The both luminaries will be in square to Pluto and Capricorn. Venus will still be in opposition to Uranus. The days near the full moon in the life of the society on this level, you see, on this scale, demonstrations against the existing order, clashes with the police, scandals related to famous people are possible. Contracts that no longer satisfy the both parties or one of the parties may be terminated, and this can also be done for reasons of modification of the external conditions. So during the days of the full moon, the conclusion of agreements and the signing of contracts with the new partners are unfavorable. In business, important professional partnerships may come to an end, or a major reorganization will be unavoidable. So this full moon highlights the tasks or the key issues of our relationships, because we have the position of the Sun and the Moon on the axis of the first and the seventh sign, Aries, Libra. As any full moon, which is the culminating point of the lunar month and which brings to the surface a certain problem, this full moon will highlight the conflict between how we understand our interests and needs and how we coordinate them with the interests and needs of the partner in a marriage or in business or in general, with the needs of other people that surround us. The situations of this period will show the limits of what is allowed in a relationship, of what we tolerate with respect to ourselves and our partner. They will show the measure of control that the relationship resists, and beyond by what limit, after what limit the relationships can end. We will have to understand how are our needs compatible with the partnerships, with the marriage, whether yes or no our personal goals are at odds with the goals of the partnership. If you want to preserve, to save a relationship, you will have to find ways of reconciliation and harmony. Weak alliances and hopeless relationships can unfortunately lead to a breakup or separation or to a divorce. And in any case, it is more important to look at the axis of the houses of your chart where the position Sun Moon is projected. In these areas of life, you will experience the altercations, oppositions, situations of choice, and situations of inevitability of finding a compromise. In the second moon phase, this is the new moon in Scorpio, in the fourth degree of Scorpio, 425 of Scorpio, October 27, 11:38 Eastern Time. This moon phase will be also very difficult and complex, the same as the full moon in Aries 2 weeks before. This new moon will be in exact opposition with Uranus and Taurus, on the background of the Mars-Saturn square and on the background of the conjunction Mercury-Venus. Why this new moon will be difficult? This will undoubtedly allow us to eliminate psychological blockages that prevent us from facing the challenges of the circumstances of life adequately and efficiently. But the event that will stimulate these processes can be painful and stressful. The opposition of Uranus, to the Sun, plays a huge role in the chart of the new moon, it carries the potential of liberation or of loss. For liberation or for loss. It is a moment of deliverance from what has ceased to correspond to our spiritual values and needs. We can be enlightened by a radically new understanding of the things which will affect our projects and plans, of course. Any quarrel or provocation during this new moon will lead to complications, so we must avoid them. The relationships that are important for you, the relationship that you care about, can be viewed from an unexpected angle. What subjects will be put forward during this new moon? Of course, the subject of the sign of Scorpio. Revenues, budget management, common financial issues, property disputes, common property management issues, issues related to deposits, investments, taxes, debts, compliance and non-compliance with the financial obligations, opening, closing of accounts. Of course, you know that the sign of Scorpio symbolizes the exploration of hidden circumstances, of the darkest spheres of life, of its bags, of extreme situations and key problems. So this major aspect of the month, the background aspect of the new moon, the opposition Sun-Uranus, is active from October 24 until the 1st of November. It reinforces the rebellious spirit and can provoke a wave of protests against the existing conditions or against the actions of the authorities. That's why there is a high probability of terrorist attacks, force majeure, natural disasters. It's necessary to manage to control our emotional background. We can observe in the behavior of other people and also in our own behavior off-scale radicalism. Do not make long-term plans and don't start major changes. But the change can come from outside through external events that you have not planned and that you don't have control on. And here, it will be necessary to be flexible to respond adequately to the challenges of these changes that you encounter, that you meet suddenly because of the opposition Sun-Uranus. The opposition Sun-Uranus is also an aspect of personal will, of the rebellion against the authorities. It can reinforce the desire for freedom at any cost without thinking about the consequences. But it's better not to succumb to such moods, so we will not destroy what must be just simply changed, transformed. We will not throw out of our life what we still need, but what we have to reconsider and transform without eliminating it totally, completely. So due to the presence of this aspect in the chart of the new moon, the opposition Sun-Uranus, the beginning of ambitious projects is unfavorable, and in addition to that, at the end of the month, Mercury slows down before turning to the retrograde phase. So this is it, my friends. I wish you a wonderful month of October. Take care of yourself. Thank you for your time and attention. And I'll talk to you very soon. I will go live very soon, maybe in 10 days, 2 weeks, with the Astro Tarot questions, answers, live streaming on YouTube. Take care of yourself and goodbye.